I'm going to share you what I have learned from chapter 6. So let's define the word content-based instruction. Content-based instruction is an approach to language teaching that organizes instructions around a meaningful content or subject matter. The student required to learn social study or history instead of learning linguistics or syllabus. Related to this approach, we can call as CLILs or Content and Language Integrated Learning. For CBIs, it involves as a language teacher teaching through English, working with content teacher and teach a course for ESL. But for CLIL, it involves also in content teacher teaching a second language or foreign, and it's also content form of subject matter. Because there are several reasons account for communicative language, but I will pick only 3 points out of it. For the first one is applications of principal communicative language teaching. The classroom should be focused on communicative and exchanging information, like students need to interact each other in their learning instead of listen to only the lecture or only teacher. And the second one is the basis for on arrivals and mainstream of program. So this is focused on the language newly arrived immigrations. It's like learner typically need to learn how to deal with different kinds of real world content based on the social survival that from different worlds. So they need to learn not only just within their countries but also from other countries' survival as well. For the approach, there are 3 main reasons for the approach. For the first one, people learn a second language use language to as means of understanding content. Like people learn a second language more than the information they are acquiring is perceived as interesting and useful and leading them to desire of their goals. For the second one is content-based instruction better reflects learner needs for learning a second language. So it's like language learning is more motivated when students are focusing on something other than the language, such as ideas on issues on opinion, so it can attract them to learn. For a third one, contents provide the basis for activating both the cognitive and the interactionals. This is mean like learners learn best when they are giving language in a meaningful contextualized form for acquiring the information. Now let's come to theory of language and learning. And we can see there are many theory of language and learning, but I will pick just only 3 points as well. But the first one is Lexis Central. Lexis Central is specialized on vocabulary to convey the meaning of different subjects or content. So this is like they are focusing on vocabulary to meanings the contents or the subjects matter. For the second one is grammar is a source of communicating content. Why grammar is the source in here? Because like grammar is to express the content to be more fancy. For the third one, I will pick negotiations. Why negotiations? Because it's like students need to exchanging the information when they are not sure or something, or they will ask the speaker to clarify what they not understand about anything. Now let's come to objective. Objective here, I will just summarize in two shorts, like they are based on the learning of content, not just to learn the language only. And as we can see that there are 4 objectives below on page 123, but I will summarize the 4 objectives for linguistic, statistics, and cultural. These 4 objectives was based on these 3. For the syllabus, syllabus is derived from the content of the topics. The syllabuses are defined as a topical built around a specific topics and subtopics. For example, like the geography subjects. When we think of the word geography, what comes into student minds, like highly visual, spatial, and itself uses the map or charts. So we can see that the first is a topic, and after that go to a subtopics of one matter. For the teaching and learning activity, Toddler in 1997 he provided a list of activities to instruction focus, and there are many of them, but if you are a teacher, you can pick what will motivate or convenient for your students. Skill improvement, vocabulary building, discourse organizations, communicative interactions. As you can see that I will just list it for 4, but skills improvement. So what are you going to do with it, or you think of activity that help your student to improve their skills, like practically, like computer class. You give them activity and do it at home, like that, so it is more practical and it is a skills learning. For vocabulary building, so you can give them the assignments to improve their vocabulary and spellings. Now, for the learner's role, there are 3 main important for the learner's role. The first one is autonomous. What does it mean, autonomous? Autonomous here means like they can be in charge of their own learning process. So they can do it by themselves without anyone help. Expected to support each other and work collaborative in the groups. So they need to support each other and interact with each other to learn. To be an active interpreter of input, and they also can tolerate and explore their learning strategy by themselves. For teacher's role, teacher should know the topic, what he or she is going to present before they presented it for students. They are also required to in traditional form of language and content teaching. Collaborating with other teachers and design course and materials, so they need to cooperate with other teachers as well to get an idea, to form an idea so that it can work best for student, and student will interest more on the subject. For the instructional materials, here there are use of both authentic and adapted oral and written subject matter material, like textbooks, audio, visual material, and etc. Of course, the material is very important to learn. Is like student cannot just listen alone, but there need a material to take notes and to attract on more on their subject. And last is procedure. Both procedures typically used to teach subject matter in a content class, like use adjective according to the level of proficiency. So they use the procedures according to the levels, like ESL student, the basic, or strength 1 or strength 2, so it depends on the levels of the students. So this is all for my presentation. I hope you guys can learn something from this, and thank you for listening.